Hello everyone, you join us in actually what's the middle of the week for once. I've had a bit of an upset with my phone. My phone is unfortunately what I do all my video editing on. So we've lost quite a lot of footage for this week. It's not usable at all at the moment. I've smashed the screen unfortunately. So I'm using a replacement phone at the moment and we're just going to have to put up with this quality as well. I'm not sure what the quality is going to be like or even if I can upload this at all, to be honest. But hopefully I'll get some footage for you guys. Previous video, part 2 I think it was, went down really well over the weekend. So thank you guys for that. Thanks for following along. Appreciate all the positive feedback as well off the back of that. I know I had a fair few WhatsApps, quite a few YouTube comments on there as well. There's some hints and tricks and a few tips along the way. Really appreciate that, guys. I've said before many times, I run the channel, or the videos especially, we show the good, the bad, the ugly. I don't always know exactly what way I'm going to take these projects. I think any body shop person who tells you they know exactly how to do everything is either a liar or a little bit too arrogant for my liking, I suppose. We learn something new every single day in this trade. So bouncing ideas off you guys is sometimes really helpful. Enjoy it. Anyway, like I said, we've lost quite a lot of the footage for the start of this week. So I'll give you a brief recap of what we've been up to so far. I think you can probably see straight away we've done the quarters. We've started fiberglassing the rear quarters in any case. You can get a bit of an idea of what we've done with these fairly obviously. So we've used glass fiber matting, proper glass fiber matting instead of the fiber paste or anything like that. I think, to be honest, in something like this, the fiber paste probably would have worked, but it has the potential of sinking later on down the line, and then you start seeing that through the paintwork. It's also not as strong, so that's the reason why we've gone with the matting instead. It's just the better, stronger, more appropriate way to do things, really. You can see as well, I made a big deal about this previously. So we've got the edge to edge here. It's completely flush if you look down the side of the car. Not like the other fiberglass panels where this would stick out, good 5 mil, some of them sticking out there. That's not the look that we were going for at all. So yeah, obviously a lot of shaping work to do. It's still messy at this stage. That'll get there. We've also done, again, just to try and replicate a genuine Cosworth. Some of you guys will know the body lines dip into this area here, so we've just notched that out a little bit with the metal. I've just done a bit of metal work there, basically just heated those areas up and hammered a couple of little divots in there. Obviously we'll do some filling work to make that look as it should, but I needed to manipulate the metal to start with. So yeah, that's looking, it will be looking fairly good, I think. What else have we done? Front end of the car. You'll have to excuse me, guys. Like I said, I'm rattling through all this because I've lost so much footage from what we've already done this week. But yeah, front end of the car is all bolted down, so the wings are in place now. Went over to Kev's and found a few components, bits and pieces that we needed. So the bonnet catcher's on there now. It's allowed us to gap up the wings absolutely where they need to be. So that's actually shown us a few issues. So the bonnet is not down in place just yet, but as you can see, this side the gap's fairly decent. That's about right, to be fair. Once it's there, the gap on this side is pretty much spot on. The wings are in line with the doors, and the gap here is about right as well. Doors open and close, obviously. So as far as I'm concerned, the wings are in the right place. Now that all looks fine until you get to this side, where we've done exactly the same thing, but as you can see, the gap's absolutely enormous. So I've been at this all week. I've been trying to think about exactly what to do. I can't move the bonnet over. I can't move the wings in for once. For one thing, if I move the wings in, they'd be far too inbound of the door. I can't move the doors because, as you guys all know, on these Mark 5s, the hinges are welded, so that it's got no movement that way. There's no point in moving the bonnet over either way because that will just make the gap equally bad on both sides. We've made sure that everything lines up bang on dead straight down the middle as well. So probably what I'm going to end up doing, I've not fully decided this yet, but most likely my solution for this one is going to be extending the length of the bonnet. So we'll just weld some metal onto the end of the bonnet, possibly on both sides, and then bridge it over. I'm not sure, but because this is a big gap. I don't know how big it looks on the camera, but that is absolutely unacceptable, of course. So yeah, work to be done on that, but the wings are fitting. And obviously, like I said, same for this side. We've started doing the work on that rear quarter. Shaping work still to come. We have started as well. The reason I started doing this is you can see We had a few areas where the paint was chipping off, and you can just tell that it's going to be thick. So we've decided to start bare metaling. We are going to bare metal the entire car, and you can see why. So, metal, 1, 2, 3, no, metal, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. At least 10 layers. I might have miscounted that. It's difficult to see the transitions sometimes, but there's at least 10 layers of paint on there. Obviously far too much. It's leading us open to paint sinkage, just failures in the future, micro blisters, all sorts. So we'll bare metal this entire panel, bare metal the doors, bare metal the roof, obviously bare metal the boot as well. The boot does have some rust issues, not much, but a couple of things that we need to take care of. So I'll cut this out and we'll weld a new piece in there. Side skirts, that's the last thing that we've been up to as well. So I've just put a flange on here. You can see we've just fiberglassed a little flange onto there, very much like the originals would have been. So hopefully if I can do this with one hand. Oh, I wasn't even showing the right thing. These two just slot together now basically. So there we are, just like the genuine Cosworth would have. Finishing work to do on these, of course. Next plan now is going to be angle iron, angle steel with a few of these. So my plan now, I'll go through this in detail with what I'm doing now on the phone, because I'm not sure if I can take the time lapse on these or not. But anyway, these are going to be bonded with this into the side skirt. This will obviously be welded onto the car, and then these will act as locating pins. So they're not going to be, well, they are threaded, but they're not going to have a nut on them because obviously I can't get to the bottom of the side skirt. They are just going to act as a locating pin to hopefully locate the side skirt into place from there-ish to the front. Then I can take care of the back just by screwing it onto the back edge here. That's the plan. So we'll see how that goes next. Alright, so we've just welded the angle onto here, just tacked it in place, that's all that's needed. And the plan now, I'm hoping this is going to work, we're going to use these, and these are going to be bonded onto the fiberglass. You can imagine when these are bonded into the fiberglass, hopefully we should just be able to drop the whole fiberglass skirt into there, and that will effectively pull it into position. So I've just got to tack it into place to start with to make sure that we are 100% where we want these to be bonded, and then we're just going to end up leaving it overnight then to cure. Hopefully come in tomorrow to find that we can take the side skirt off. Obviously then we can mount it properly from the bottom, sort out that rear fitment issue as well. Yeah, that's the plan we're going for. Hopefully that should keep it pulled into the car. Fingers crossed. Tool now rather than a DA, a lot more aggressive for something like this. It really cuts through, but I said before, we've got so many layers on there, it's still going to take a fair amount of time, but yeah, cutting through quite nicely. Just being cautious of not heating up the panel too much as well. Had a bit of a change of plan with the bonnet. So as you know, there's so many layers of paint on here, even the rotary was struggling a little bit. So we ended up putting some paint stripper on here, bagging it for a few hours just to allow the paint stripper to do the work as effectively as it can. I think it's probably taken, I don't know, 4, maybe 5 layers of paint off for us, but there's still a lot on here. So we're back in with the rotary now, getting it back to bare metal. As you can see, it has exposed a lot of dents and damage, unfortunately. Maybe not a lot, but it's getting more and more. Big old dent here, some dents up here, some ripples and dents over here. No matter, it's expected, unwelcome but expected. So we will just obviously put this into epoxy when it's back into bare metal, do all the dent repairs, go from there. That will be fine. I'm going to have to hold my hand up to this. We've made a mistake. So I'll show you over the other side quickly what we've done. Side skirts. Did show you this briefly, I think. So we've got these now. These are bonded into place with the fiberglass here. We were really happy with how it works over the other side. Came in this morning, lifted the side skirt off, no problems. Obviously you had a lot of twist in that back section there. I didn't understand why, especially when this whole kit's been so good. It's my fault, unfortunately. Hold my hands up. Like I said, we bonded this in too tight. So without knowing, obviously we thought that this bottom piece would just bond onto the car like the rest of it has and just slot into place. It doesn't. It's too far in. So you can see it now. It's as clear as day when you look at it like this now. It's too far in. So thank you to Ronnie as well on the YouTube comments. I know I saw a comment off you saying that the rear quarter where it met the side skirt was pulled in too far. I'll be honest, I didn't quite fully know what you meant at that stage. I couldn't quite get my head around. Couldn't work out which bit of the side skirt you meant. It all makes sense now. So yeah, we've just obviously bonded that into place. I said before, this is the first one of these that we've done. So we just presumed that that's how it was meant to be. It all looked right. The panel went in there nicely, but that's not the case. So it does explain why we've been having the issues with this, of course, and trying to get this to twist to fit. You can see we even took some stress out of it and re-glassed it. That still didn't work. And the situation being that if we had this skirt back together, it should be more like that. So obviously the bottom of the quarter flares out. Same as well on the other side. It's more obvious on this side skirt, which I haven't messed around with just yet. Pop this into place. You can see it fits really nicely on that edge there that we've done. And again, that back piece just flares out like that. So it's an easy enough fix. Annoying, but it is easy enough. All we need to do is just cut a section out there, cut a line down there. Just because of the way that this is, we'll be able to cut that out, and then this whole section here, be able to bring it forwards by an inch or so. I'll re-glass it then from the inside. Can't weld it back into place, but you remember there's only a very, very small strip of metal there anyway, so it's not adding anything to it really. We'll just re-glass that, fiberglass it instead of metal. And that'll be fine for us then. So yeah, like I said, hold my hands up. We do make mistakes, only human. I didn't know. Now that we know, I'm glad we found it out at this stage rather than later on down the line. But that should be a relatively simple fix for us now. I've had a fair few questions about prices and everything as well, and how much we charge for work like this, or how many hours go into the jobs. I will get round to answering that at some point, guys. I haven't forgotten. It's just, I think it probably needs a bit of a sensitive video, that one. Maybe even a separate video, because it is a sensitive topic, money and everything. But just a quick one, because that's our mistake. I'm going to be taking the hours straight back off the board. We won't charge for things like that. I am a fair shop as much as I can be. There's still work that goes into it, but at the end of the day, I do consider that our mistake. So we won't be charging for that. It's a fair few hours wasted, but never mind. It is what it is. It's all fixable. Pretty happy now as well that we know what the issue is. We can move forward. Quick break from the Cosworth videos. In anticipation of something we've got coming tomorrow. We've had these in the units for a little while. Got a bit of building work to do. Well, it's a bit of an anticlimax compared to what I was expecting to be showing you on the camera. This right here is where I was meant to have the new car coming in. It hasn't turned up, but I have got the rollover jig together with Tig. So this is a new addition to the shop. We'll be doing things a little bit differently in the future now with the restoration projects. You will have seen we do a lot of the bare metal shells nowadays. So it's just about time that we get a rollover jig so we can get underneath and inside the cars as well and really throw absolutely everything at them that we possibly can. Next level. I know I've got a lot of Ford people on the channel at the moment. I don't know if this is going to be up your street or not, but it is a Mark 1 Capri. So it's a Ford, very old school, of course. So yeah, really looking forward to that one turning up. Like I said, it was meant to be here today. Sadly, hasn't turned up. But we're ready for next week or whenever it does turn up now. And I will obviously be getting more of that onto the channel in the upcoming weeks. The bonnet all bare metalled. So there's a few dents on here, like we said. Typically where the filler is still left, there's dents. This is the worst one that we've seen, but nothing too major at all, really. Probably what I'll end up doing is putting this one to epoxy for the corrosion side of things, but also it gives it a bit of a sheen, so it lets us see where the damage is, and then we'll metalwork that. Obviously, I'll have a tiny skim of filler on there if it needs it, but for the most part, yeah, that's going to be decent. I don't think it's too bad at all. Definitely the best way to go. I've started working on the door now. Door doesn't have nearly as many layers on. It's coming off straight away, but this highlights the exact reason why we do things like this. Hidden rust all the way along the bottom here. You can see it starting to spider up. That was totally hidden. Didn't see any of that underneath the paintwork, but obviously it would come through in the years to come if we didn't get rid of it. So yeah, good to catch it at this stage, really. Sunroof's out. Just taking a brief moment to show you guys, I said previously, we're not cutting any corners on this car whatsoever. The brief that I've been given, make this the best Cosworth replica that we possibly can. So that's what we're trying to do. So that's why we're bare metaling as well. But again, tiny little areas like this. The roof is night and day compared, well, the roof and the rest of the shell of the car, as we said previously, is absolutely phenomenal. Really, really good. You can see here, the rotary is absolutely ripping through this like you wouldn't believe. We are factory paint, so factory e-coats, primer, paint, just one layer, no repairs on the roof, no repairs on the other areas that I've done whatsoever, compared to the doors, which had, I think, 4 layers, and the bonnet, which had about 12, 11, I think it was, 11 or 12 in the end. Yeah, original paint up here, but we still have tiny little spiders. If the camera picks that up, little spider cracks of rust, not cracks, little spiders of rust coming through, and they're dotted everywhere, absolutely everywhere. So this is the reason why we go to this extent, because we can get rid of these. They're very, very much surface. They've not gone through whatsoever, but they are there, and they would eventually present themselves as little micro blisters or rust through the paint. So we're trying to make this last as best as possible. This car is going to be treated to the full Nova Full Classic Cars epoxy and entire process, actually, the NFCC Classic Car process that we always do. I guess it is a classic car nowadays, really. Something like this is considered classic nowadays anyway, so yeah, carry on going as we are. Dust extraction capabilities of the new Merca. 2 out of 10. Nah, in fairness, I've taken the shroud off it. Just allows me to use it on a bit more of an angle. Very, very slight angle, but it just allows for a more aggressive cut. So as you can see, car is pretty much into bare metal now. Still got a few edges to tidy up on. Boot still needs a bit more work. Obviously external only. We're not going to the extent of doing the inside or underneath or anything like that. Can't believe how much lighter that bonnet is now. It's lost several kilograms worth of paint. It's a huge amount lighter. It's quite ridiculous, actually. In terms of areas like this, more intricate areas, this sort of thing, we'll just get the paint stripper in there afterwards, and that will take care of that. Like we've started around the other side. I've actually run out of paint stripper at the moment. I didn't order any in specifically because I wasn't expecting to be doing this at this stage. I was expecting to be spending today working on the Capri. But like I said, it's not turned up. But yeah, a bit of paint stripper in there just takes that straight back off. Good to go then. And then obviously just a bit more of a scuffing to get rid of the surface rust that appears from using the paint stripper. I think there's a tiny bit of moisture that gets trapped underneath and it just flash rusts extremely fast, but that just comes straight off. It will just wipe off with a bit of, well, again, actually with a bit of paint stripper, it just comes straight off. Spider marks on the roof have been taken care of for the most part. started buzzing down the rear quarters as well. Side skirts obviously are on now as well on both sides. Not fixed on that side at the front, but they are on this side at the rear. The front just needs a bit more extension on the wing. It needs to go that way so that they actually line up nicely. The holes be right at the edge of the wing currently, so that's why I've not bolted those in. But you can see the whole premise works. Obviously I've got a fiberglass that from the back, and the rear edge there just gets spaced out ever so slightly more. But I have, again, crude at the moment, just got some washers in there just to space that rear quarter out, so hopefully you guys can see what it's done there. Difficult to tell when it's like this, but yeah, the side skirts fit really nicely now. Front piece needs a bit more trimming work, but it's coming along. Boot likewise, so we'll get paint stripper in the more intricate areas which I can't get the rotary into very easily. Gapping is coming along as well. So there was initially an enormous gap there. The whole boot was just tilted just because basically it didn't fit. It was fouling this quarter here, so you can see we've had to trim all of that off. And I will end up reglassing that again. I'll trim a bit more off and then just fiberglass it again with probably 5-6 layers or so of fiberglass then, just to replicate what the original was, the original fiberglass that is. And that'll be plenty strong enough. But yeah, it's coming along nicely. You can see, guys, we have to go several steps back before we go forwards. Looks a bit strange again now because I've taken all the whale tail off. Obviously it's still got the old wheels on, but yeah, it's going to look a really nice looking car, I think, when the nice proper wheels are back on and it's all in fresh paint. A long way off that just yet, but we are coming along. Right, once again then, guys, if you've made it this far in the video, apologies again for the quality of this week's video. I've hopefully got a new phone coming in probably 2 weeks or so. It's on pre-order at the moment. But yeah, we'll have to put up for the quality for the next couple of weeks, but I will still keep trying to take the videos for you. Hopefully this upload's all right. Thanks for following along. I'll catch you next week.